All right, here's going to be a slow one today. We're going to try we're going to try to I think we're recording. Are we recording? Are we on? Is the mic live? I think we are. Start recording. All right, yes, I had several instances of OBS Studio running. We're going to try to model what's inside here with what we know from the ground truthing here. And when Dr. Yusuf bin Meyer goes inside the room, there is this color wall. So if I were to take a piece of wall like so and save it as the Cohen room wall, all right, and then come in here to Blender, and I'm going to add this as a material. So new material, base color is going to be an image texture, and it's going to be the Cohen room wall. All right, so that's there, and then we have to go into edit mode and come into the walls in here. That usually means going to view and going to navigation and going to fly or walk navigation. Walk navigation seems to work well, so we walk in with the W key and we select this wall and this wall and this wall and this wall, and we just have to be really careful. So you keep losing it when you want to keep doing walking, so you have to always go up to view, then you can hit N for navigation, and for walk you can hit W, and then you can continue the movement. So we'll turn around that way, and we will select, oopsie, shift select this and this, and then it's going to be, like I say, really hard to turn around unless we keep going to view, N and W, and then we can move around a little bit better in the space. Same way we do in Roblox. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we got some weird polygons going on there, but hold the shift key down and hold that shift key and that key there. And then once again, go up to view. There doesn't seem to be a quick key for that, but then N and W. And then we can continue to back up, around, and try then to select these other walls. And then I think, again, we'd have to go up to view, N for navigation, W for walk, and let's see if we did in fact get everything that we wanted. We probably should do the ceiling as well. So let's get the ceiling. And then you see it is somewhat hard to get everything in there. And you can't really tell much from there. This is the materials, and this is using that awful, they say it's wonderful cycles, but Eevee is so much easier to work with in there. So again, view, navigation, walk, and let's go inside. Let's see if we can, without losing anything. Yeah, so we have that, and then because we have that, we should be able to go into materials and assign this. And by the way, this is called Cohen wall, and then assign that to that in there. And then when we go to our object mode, then we have the proper color in there. So once again, view, navigation. I can use F for fly if I like. It's a little bit faster, but it's not as precise, as you can see. So careful, careful. At least we have the authentic color. Now, View, navigation, walk is a lot slower unless you hit the shift key and then you can speed up. So walk is better, but we do have, yeah, we have the room. All right, good. And then getting in the room then, if we can stay inside the room like so, and then click off of it, we may be able to model something. So I'll put the cursor right here on the wall, and I'm going to add a cube because life is mostly cubes. Rotate in the z-axis like so, and go to local transform and scale it in the x-axis, and bring it in the x-axis, and scale it in z. And we're going to have to try to then to ground truth this a little bit. So this could be a bit of a challenge. So we're going to look here. So there's this, I don't know if you call it a tabernacle or what, but it stands up to a person's halfway height a bit. So, and how long is it really? It's pretty long until it reaches this stack of a chimney of a heater, I think, or something. So scaling in Y, moving in Y. We could also duplicate this and move it in Y, and then scale this radically in Y, so that we have this, which seems to be sort of like stacked up, and then it goes up and then starts to get a bit smaller. So whatever that is, and we can shift D and do Z and bring this in here and then scale it a little bit smaller, and scale it in Z maybe a little bit smaller still, and then shift D and move it in Z and scale it. How many sections are there here? There's a big one, then 1, 2, 3, 4. You're able to see in the video. So a big section, and 1, 2. Maybe this should be moved up. Oops. And back to selection. This should probably be scaled down. See. And this can be scaled down in Z. This one move down, and do another one up. So we're just trying to get the idea here, quick and dirty if you like, and then come back in here, and yeah, it's also made of like different kinds of piles, so I don't think I'm going to spend too much more time on that.
There are Muslim people who come and visit and pray. Young people to this foundation developed. Will get nearby the saint. They want to be able to take some. So there's some trees every year that Moroccan Jewish peoples.
Okay, so
you see as an incredible.
There's obviously a big long table there as well that I was not really seeing. And it might be that I'm in the wrong building completely. It's a book table. So do we have room for a book table? Not when it's like that. So let's actually go into edit mode here and grab that surface, that face. And then let's bring that in the local, in the local y-axis. And maybe it also needs to be brought down in the local z-axis to look good. And then we should shift D and move this over. Oops. Trying to make a table. See. And what is it looking like in here? It's hard to tell. So there's definitely this tabernacle-like box. I'm sure that the table next to it has.
And you know, when they see the trees, because it grew nearby the saint, they want to be able to take some. So there's some trees every year that Moroccan Jewish peoples.
It's a table, but it's got a tablecloth on it. Let's put the plaque behind it. So if we do this and then we scale this in Y, oops, not in Y, scale this in X locally. Then we have the ability to move this in X right to the wall. And then we have this plaque, and so we're going to shift D again and lift this up. And so again, look, it's shorter than, so let's see if we were to go like that and then go into edit mode and select that face and say, okay, good. So is that whole face selected? Yes, I guess it is. And then grow it in Z. Okay. And save it. Then we will go to Object, Set Origin to Geometry, so it's right there. And we will go and give it a new material, and it'll be based on an image texture. And that image texture will be the Hebrew plaque. Now it is wrong and way too small. So the first thing is the Hebrew plaque needs to be rotated along the x-axis and moved up. And let's see what that looks like. It's really right down onto it. So right there. To get the right size for the image, how are we going to do that? Linear, single image, flat, repeat, no. Extend, didn't do a darn thing. Clip, didn't do a darn thing. So repeat, how do we make that image smaller? I have to get right back to you. All right, so to get that now to map on properly, I have to select that image and I need to go to UV editing. And I need to select the whole image there. And really, it'd be better if I could get right on in it, because yeah. All right, there it is. All right, so I've selected that, and the part that we're going to look at is really, and let me find this UV select mode, island selection. That's the whole darn thing. See, that don't help me much because I don't know what I'm looking at. But it's probably that this whole thing is really just centered on that part of the cube. In which case, I'm really just moving this and hoping that that is where the box gets unwrapped. But you're supposed to go and do UV unwrap. And then we will try to build this up. And then see what it looks like. Yeah, there we go. It's not perfect, but so we can go back to UV at any time and we can make this, scale it up a little bit more. So it has some edge. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so we need to come up here and scale this a bit more precisely for this pen. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not perfect. If we want to twist that a little bit, I guess in UV editing, we could rotate, maybe rotate it like that and see. No, that's the wrong way to rotate it. Huh. Okay, I messed that up. What if I go like, oh yeah, I should have figured that. I mean, duh. Just to give it a little less spivetness, as we might say, but it's not a perfect image. So yeah, so no, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to leave it the way that, oh no, I didn't need to do that. What did I do? No, so I'm going to go redo. Redo. Yeah, so let's just move this over and just deal with the fact that it's not perfect. All right. So now the layout. We're losing a side of it. So yeah, but not horrible for what we're trying to do. Actually, gives it some kind of depth. So let's save that. And let's see if we can get a texture for down here. So this cube here, there is this black thing. Do we have any images of what that would look like? Not as easy. There is another video that we posted in the Navigating the Fume Nexus thing. It's from the Seeds of Memory documentary that we just received from
the
Elizabeth.
nation, beautiful person in Abdurrahim, living in Akrich, caring every day about that pilot nursery.
بالنسبه للعمل اللي كنقوم بها انا كنحس كنقدم شي مساعده كندير شي حاجه اللي كنساعد بها الناس. بالنسبه لهاد البلاصه هادي كتعني لي انا بحال قلتي ديالي
حياتي. That's it. Ooh, okay. Right, so go back.
اللي هو كتسميه برافايل كاين واحد الصالح حياتي.
We don't want the closed captions. Darn it. All right, so
here you
go. I think. Oh, yeah. I wanted to try a little bit more precisely, but it's really tricky, isn't it? Each time.
الطريق اللي هو كتسميه برافايل واحد الصالحيه هادي
like that. And then grab that Okay. And maybe let's re-grab it so we can avoid some of because it's not rotated properly, but I don't know why I keep doing that. I really should just start in a little later. Get a little bit of gold, but not much. Why not keep that? Why not? Yeah, so we have subtitles there. Fine with me. This is for a Roblox test. So, Jewish Saint box. I'll just say that for that. And now, come back to Blender and say that first of all, we want a material in here that is black. And that's just going to cover part of it. So boom. And that's applied. You will see if I go there. So that's black. The other thing we're going to do is add a new material. I'm just going to call this black. And call this new. Call this Saint Hebrew on box. For whatever it's worth. Come in here to image texture. Open our new Saint box. And we are going to have to go into edit mode and pick this face and then assign this to it, but it is rotated wrong. So this is where we would have to then go into UV editing, and that face is being selected, so we want to not that face, we want that face, and we want to say to unwrap. And this face here is going to be rotated and stretched out, scaled in X, more, scale in X, then scale in Y, and that should, alright, so I was wrong. I shouldn't have rotated it like that. So let's rotate this 90 degrees. And let's try this again. Let's scale this down. And then scale this in X. And we'll try this again. Try that. There we go. And it's upside down. Alright. In that case, rotate it 180 degrees. And let's look at it. There we go. Ain't that pretty? Nice. So, as you can see, we're beginning to get the room to look more like what the room is supposed to look like. That back part there. And this is fun. I mean, this is really cool that we have the ability to texture like this. That back part there has some marble, and we're going to take it. Save this as Hebrew box marble. And then we'll go back in here. We will select this. It doesn't have to be that big. Right. And once again, we'll call this Hebrew box model. We'll call this, find it there, Hebrew box. Saint box. We'll call this the Hebrew plaque. Hebrew plaque. And so when we come in here, we add a material, and the base color is going to be an image texture, and we're going to open up the Hebrew box marble, and that don't look good. So we'll go to UV editing, and we'll select that. And here we go, we're going to unwrap it. Scale this in X. Okay. Yeah, almost looks real. All right, so the only thing is it looks like, oh, the top of that box is just light, I guess, is on there because it doesn't appear as black as it should, but it is black. It's just that it's selected. Or is it? Is it because it's selected? Let's see if we go back to edit mode and we select that surface and we assign black to it. What does that do when it's no longer selected? Maybe it's the normals? I don't know. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. Next thing in the room that I want to get is this box here. Probably isn't going to show up in this video.
اللي كيزوروا الهوت بالزيارات الهوت بالحياتي ورا فيها هذا
sapling before it's
not going to show up in that one, but it may show up here. Maybe we can grab something.
Agricultural
We do want to get that picture too, so hold on. Let's grab that picture while we can. Oh, the saint. Yeah, sorry. It's not. Let's make sure we get rid of the closed captioning and then do it again. Crop this a bit. It's okay for now. And save this as Saint picture for Cohen building. And put that in as well. And while we're at this, let's get this little Kupa Tseedaka. Which I want to know what that means, by the way. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT and say, hi chat, what does this mean? Charity box. Oh, cool. So that's the charity box. So we'll make a charity box. Copy image. I'm going to go to here and find our posts. Okay, and then Kupat Sedaka charity. So Kupat Sedaka is now in there, and because we have that, we have two different. I think I saved it. I hope I saved it. that anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. I have here the Kupat Tzedakah. I think I saved it. But let's see. No. Kupat Tzedakah. Save that. And come here, and we know if we take this plaque and we repeat it, then we can shrink it down and we can move it in the, not the y-axis relative to it, but the x-axis. Move it over. Maybe it's that high? I'm not sure. Let's look at the video. Here. It's overlapping that stage. So can make it a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit longer in like that, and then bring it down like that and bring it back. Can't seem to get it to work. That's probably okay. So here, when it's not Hebrew plaque anymore, it's Saint plaque. And then change this image from Hebrew plaque to Saint picture. Oh no, didn't want to do that. All right, so I've got to decouple this. So material 9 is the Hebrew plaque. But we're going to get rid of that for the Saint plaque. And then we're going to add a new material. And that one's going to be the Saint plaque. There we go. And then we have our little box there, which we're going to duplicate this, rotate it in its process, shrink it rather down, bring it forward, look at it in the imagery, it's above there, and it's fatter. So let's turn this around. Let's scale this in, okay, like that. And the other thing is that it's got to be scaled in X, so it is a box. I think, okay. There again, we're going to delete the material, create a new material, call it Kupat Tzedakah. Maybe that's where Neil Sedaka comes from. Could be. I'm going to ask chat. That's fascinating. Does Neil Sedaka name derive from Sedaka? It'll make stuff up. Yes, this is like the Hebrew word Sedaka. Charity, righteousness, many Jewish communities, names are tribe, means charity, justice, Sedaka. Okay. So, Carol. He also said breaking up is hard to do, right? So we'll go again to the image texture, and we will open up Sedaka. So we're beginning to get a room that conforms a bit when the character walks into it. Still want to deal with that box over there. This is marble, so the best way to do marble is just to go to Polyhaven Textures and then ask for marble. all it gives us? Really? 5 results only? Really? Marching on. Plastered wall. Beige wall. Concrete wall. Concrete floor. Plaster gray. Rough plastic. Gray plaster. That's the plaster concrete. Terrain, wood, brick, plaster concrete. What else does it give us and why won't it let us? Metal, rock. Boulder. Yeah. I'm not doing that. Zero results. Sort by. Textures rock. Marble. That's what it gives us. Well, there are floor tiles. Maybe we should use that one. Let's try it. We will download that. The other thing I want to get is floor tiles. Go back out. Like this marble mosaic can serve as the real, I mean, it's not what the real floor of this looks like, but I don't have the time to really devote to making the floor of this look perfect. So if I have in here, we show in the folder, and we take both of these and cut them out of here and bring them into here and paste them into here and unzip them, and we do that. Then marble mosaic tiles, textures, that would be that. We're not going to use the displacement map. It's fine. We can use that JPEG. And as for the other one, which was the files, marble mosaic, where's the other one? Floor tiles. Did we undo that? So marble mosaics. We didn't do the floor tiles. So we need to extract that one. All right. And then in here, floor tiles. Why the heck are the floor tiles? That's weird. Floor tiles. There's the floor tiles. All right, and that has texture, and we're going to use that for it. All right, so now let's go back to Blender, and for this whole thing, for this, we're going to make a new image texture and open up our floor tiles, even though it's not a floor, and we'll use this JPEG. It kind of works. So now we'll call this marble, and then just select each of these and select marble if we can find it. Marble, select marble, select marble. I mean, if it was a chimney, then there'd have to be one more. Oops, I just want this one. So let me go back. So I'm going to go forward. All right. Now take this one and shift select it, move it up, and shrink it down. All right, so yeah, it looks all marbled. And then for the floor, we would have to go into edit mode, and we're going to have to select the entire floor. And so here again, it's good to go view and then go to navigation and then go to walk navigation, because then you can simply try to walk it back. So there's one other section of the floor that needs this. And now we're going to take out this material, or better yet, going to add a material. And that new material is going to be the image texture that we're going to call floor tiles, and select it. And it would be in marble mosaic tiles. There. And then assign it to the floor. And then when we go into object mode, nothing happened. Why? Certainly don't want that for that. Yeah. Okay, that is weird. So, unable to remove material and edit. So we have to go into object mode, and then get rid of that. No, that's not good at all, is it? Floor tiles. We want to be able to get into here. We want to be able to select that. Maybe it needs its normals changed. So let's go to, no, I wouldn't do that. So what are you doing? This should be assigned, but it's not showing up. I wonder. It's really hard to tell. We'll have to go to material, of course, but even that's not giving us what we want. So what's happening with you, floor tile? Why are you not letting us assign it? It's because it's like it's not even the floor. Like the floor is that's so weird. Looks like the floor is transparent here. That's interesting. Because if we were in this mode here and we went to edit, and maybe I was wrong all along. Yes, I was wrong all along. I was picking the wrong stuff. So now I should be able to get rid of, can't do it in edit mode, I have to do it in object mode, but I don't want to do that. So really it's just about adding something to it. So you can add one, and I can add now the floor tiles if I can find them under floor tiles. And assign those to it. There we go. And the same thing probably here and here and here. And assign that to floor tiles. Yeah, that's getting better. Alright. So save that. Get out of editing mode, go in, get some nice floor tiles in there. Go to view. N for navigation, W for walk. Press the W key, go into the room, turn around. There is a funny discrepancy here, and I do not understand it. So what is that? Like what on earth is causing that weird geometry? Something strange happened that I cannot account for. So what is that? Who are you? Who are you? Weird. Where I'm picking something completely different now. This box here is just a box. So that's not the issue. There's something else going on around here that has a weird sign to it. Because even if that's fine. It's like it's inside the, let me see, scale this. That's weird. Scale this in Z. No. Scale this in Z. Edit mode. We go to the bottom vertices of this, or we go actually to here, and we would tell this to be moved up in Z. Yeah, but you know what? Like that is on the right floor, so what the heck is something else going on here, like this, whatever that is, that doesn't belong there. It's above the floor. So we've made a big mistake somehow with whatever this floor is, which seems to be the entire landscape. Oh lordy. Alright, so we got a landscape problem happening here. I didn't mean to do that. What the heck? Landscape. We go to edit. We want to get rid of landscape tile there. Inside here, we don't need these landscape tiles. So what if I were to go to here Yeah, see what's going on here. And I'm not happy about it. I mean, if I were to dissolve faces, can't do that. If I get rid of the vertices, oh, okay. So I did get rid of the vertices. Well, you never know what you're doing in Blender sometimes. All right, so let's try this again. We're in here. And we're going to view, and we're going to navigate. So I'm going to navigate and then walk. All right, a little bit better. Look at that. All right, so now, assuming we didn't screw anything else up, we can go and say, well, what is on that table? What is in that?
These
It's got this pattern, this posy-paisy pattern, right? It's a tablecloth. So floral tablecloth. So maybe there's a floral tablecloth that we can find in Polyhaven under textures, and then go floral pattern. There. That's not going to be easy. Tablecloth. Nothing. So Polyhaven's not the place. Floral pattern tablecloth. You can even get stuff from things like this. And then let's see, like, what does it kind of look like? Kind of looks like it's got red flowers sort of in the middle of it. And that one could work. This one could possibly work. That one's a little more extreme. But we really just want something that works for it, and I'm more densely together. I think I'm going to use that one. And let's see what it looks like if it shows us any pictures. Yeah, okay. Why not? Let's use that one. If you'll let me, I don't want to zoom in on it. Just want to grab it. So grab it with this. And we have a swatch. We call this tablecloth. And let's go back in here. And we're not going to even get fancy with the drape for now. You could make a cloth go over it. That's later on. I'm simply going to add a color, add a material to it, and call it floral tablecloth. And let's put that on there, because this is now familiar to you. And it's too big, so of course you'd want to go to UV editing and select the whole thing and unwrap it. And you have to select the whole, by the way, the whole object, or at least these faces of it. And then when we bring these down, you can make them really big. And move them into place. In fact, they can overlap. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you decided to go, okay, I want this to be the whole face, then you'd grab this, and then you'd grab this one here. And there's supposed to be something where you can separate these, and I didn't do that. It's when you unwrap, you can do an project from view Smart UV project, and then you can do the margin method add, or you can do the island margins. You can separate them a little bit. That's better, and then unwrap it. And now they have a little margin, so I can select each one individually and scale it up. X, scale it Y, and do the same thing for this one too. Scale it up, move it in, scale it. So we can play with this and decide how much scaling we want to do. Pick a point. I can just grab that point, and you have like all this flexibility with UV of how much you want to cover in each one. But they're all using the same pattern, so we're probably okay to leave it more or less like this. This, of course, has to be brought down in. Yeah, and now when we go to view in layout, yeah, we got that. Now it's still a bit big, so maybe, I didn't take the, I don't know how to shrink the image down, because if I make the image if I make this any bigger, then it'll show black around it, I think. Maybe not. Let's see, if we really make this big, what it will do. So let's bring all this up. Let's bring this all out. Let's scale it way out like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks better. I mean, it could be better if it was scrunched a bit. Maybe like that. Does that help? Nope. I think I did it backwards. Flowers are... Let me rotate all this over and see what happens now. A little better. Yeah, definitely a little better. All right. Good enough. And the last things that I need to do for this room, besides putting books on the shelf there is I should take a cube from here and duplicate it and bring it, scale it, and bring it up, bring it out, because there's like this bench that goes all the way around, which you can see here. When he goes in the room, you see that bench there with the pillows?
Because it grew nearby the saint, they want to be able to take some. So there's some trees every year that Moroccan Jewish...
And it's about up to there. So we would take this down a little bit and bring it to the floor. Maybe, oh, no, I didn't do that. And move it over like that. All right, so let's then stretch this out, grabbing this face and hitting G, and it's gonna be hard to see this, but This is a little bit tricky to navigate using walk. Oh, yikes. What's all that? Right. So bring that to here. I don't know. Oh, that's still part of that that floor, which is sticking in here, which is scrapes me. Oh, and look at how that got messed up. Always go NW. Alright, so that's messed up. Get into here. Yeah. And we'd be pretty good if we could. We're gonna have to select this and go into edit mode and try to delete that face, but we're gonna have to cut it with the knife tool. And then delete it. And then select this face and cut it with the knife tool. Hit it. Yeah. And then delete that. Oh, I don't know if I want to do all that. Select that face and that face, but I need to take the knife tool, cut those as well. Otherwise I'm going to end up getting rid of too much. Yeah, well, alright. And there's that too. Delete that. Okay. It didn't really affect stuff outside. But now I'm going to take this box, go into object mode, take this box and duplicate it, and then make sure that the origin is to the geometry, and then rotate it by 90 degrees. Oh, not that way. Which way? Rotate in, not X, nope. Rotate not Y, rotate in Z by 90. And then move this to the back wall. And here again, view, navigation, walk. Be able to move like that. Hold on. Nice. I didn't do it right. View, navigation, walk. Okay, click. Now move this object into place, which is grabbing it and moving it in not X, but we could move it in X, it's fine. Rotating it a bit. Wringing it out by grabbing it Y. Rotating it a little more maybe. Going into edit mode, selecting that face, going into here and stretching it out to the wall. Selecting it and moving it in so it touches just about. And yeah, and then similarly moving this against the back wall. whenever this happens, I prefer to be in edit mode. And then, oh, let's see, we have a possible call coming in. So I'm going to leave this for now. I think we're in pretty good shape, and we'll talk later.